Closure is a nice idea, but real life doesn't always give you that. And the longer you wait for it, the longer you stay tied to something that already ended. A lot of people say they want closure. What they really want is relief. Maybe one last conversation that makes it make sense. Some kind of apology that softens the memory. Or just an explanation that turns the pain into something you can file away. But most endings don't come with a clean sentence at the end. They usually come with silence. Sometimes it's distance. And a lot of the time, it's you sitting there realizing you're not going to get the version of the story that makes you feel better. And that's when closure turns into a trap. The moment you tell yourself you need it, you end up leaving a door open that should have been shut a long time ago. Not physically, mentally, and emotionally. You'll catch yourself going back in your head, rereading everything, and replaying moments, trying to decode what they meant, instead of accepting what they did. And a lot of people will call that healing, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes that's attachment that learned how to speak politely. Here's the bitter pill nobody wants to swallow. Someone can hurt you, move on, and never explain it. And you might never get a reason that feels fair. But fairness was never guaranteed. Peace is. That is, if you choose it. So at some point, you have to stop waiting for a closing statement from them and start treating the pattern like the statement. Because the pattern is the explanation. It's not always loud, and it's not always obvious, but you felt it. The inconsistency, the confusion, and the way you had to shrink yourself just to keep things calm. Nah, that wasn't nothing. That was the information you needed. And closure doesn't come from them. It comes when you finally tell yourself, I've seen enough. Not anger, not revenge, just a clean decision. I'm not carrying this into my next season. That's closure. People don't struggle to move on because they don't understand. They struggle because understanding feels like control. If you can fully figure it out, it feels like you can contain it, like you can file it away neatly and move on. But some things don't get filed neatly. Some people leave without finishing their sentence. And the real skill is learning how to let something end incomplete without letting it keep you incomplete. Let that sink in for a second, because that's what peace looks like sometimes. Not getting answers, just refusing to keep paying for them. And your attention is not free. It costs you sleep. It costs you focus. And it costs you emotional space. It costs you time you could have been using to build a life that doesn't revolve around one person's inability to be clear. So listen, if they wanted to explain it, they would have. If they wanted to make it right, you wouldn't be stuck guessing. And if every time they're involved, you feel foggy, tense, unsettled, that's not love. And that's not connection. That's your nervous system telling you the truth. You don't need one more talk. Forget sending another message. You don't need to keep reopening the wound just to prove you deserved better. You deserved better the first time. Now you owe yourself something else. A clean cut. Nothing dramatic. Just a quiet space. The kind of boundary where you stop volunteering your peace to someone who already showed you they don't know what to do with it. You don't need closure. You need acceptance. You need to stop waiting for clarity from someone who benefited from keeping things unclear. Close it yourself. No applause required. Hey, thanks for sticking around. On here, we face the truths most people avoid, and the lessons life keeps repeating until you learn them. If that's your lane, subscribe, and let's build together.